What if the secret to better focus, more energy, and less stress wasn't in your schedule, your diet, or your workout, but in something you've been doing every second of your life without even thinking about it? Breath controls the nervous system and emotional state, and understanding this connection can transform the way we approach stress, decision-making, and overall well-being. The nervous system has two main branches: the sympathetic, which activates the fight or flight response, and the parasympathetic, which restores calm. Breathing is one of the very few functions of the body that operates both automatically and under conscious control, giving it a unique ability to influence the balance between these two states. When breathing becomes shallow, rapid, or erratic, the body interprets it as a sign of danger, even if the threat is only emotional or imagined. This triggers the release of stress hormones, increases heart rate, and heightens anxiety. But when breathing is slow, steady, and deep, the body receives a signal of safety, allowing the parasympathetic system to take over, reducing stress and restoring clarity. Each breath communicates directly with the vagus nerve, which plays a major role in regulating heart rate, digestion, and emotional regulation. Slow, controlled breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, activating a calming response that lowers blood pressure, relaxes muscles, and quiets the mind. This is why techniques like slow diaphragmatic breathing or extended exhalations are often used to manage anxiety, improve sleep, and interrupt emotional overwhelm. Breath effectively becomes a remote control for the nervous system, allowing intentional shifts from reactive states to receptive, grounded ones. In moments of fear or pressure, the breath often tightens without us realizing it. A single deep inhale can interrupt this pattern, and a slow exhale can reset the body's message to itself. This immediate feedback loop means that the way we breathe shapes our emotional experience in real time. People who habitually breathe shallowly often feel chronically tense or mentally scattered, while people who practice slow and controlled breathing tend to report greater emotional stability and resilience. Breath becomes a stabilizing anchor, especially in chaotic environments or high-stress situations. On a psychological level, controlled breathing enhances mindfulness by pulling attention away from racing thoughts and back into the body. This shift not only interrupts cycles of worry, but also improves emotional awareness, helping individuals respond rather than react. The breath becomes a tool for emotional regulation, supporting clearer thinking and more intentional choices. When emotions rise quickly, breath serves as the first line of support, making it possible to regain composure before taking action. Even subtle changes in breathing patterns can influence mood. A slow exhale lengthens the pause between breaths and creates a sense of spaciousness. Breathing through the nose increases nitric oxide levels, which improves oxygen delivery and creates a naturally calming effect. Smooth, rhythmic breathing helps synchronize heart rate variability, an indicator of emotional resilience and balanced nervous system functioning. Over time, these physiological adjustments shape emotional patterns, strengthening the ability to remain steady under pressure. The intimate link between breath and emotion makes breathing one of the most accessible forms of self-regulation. It requires no equipment, no environment, no preparation. Awareness alone transforms every breath into an opportunity to influence the inner state. The nervous system listens to the breath constantly, responding to each change with remarkable sensitivity. By understanding this relationship, it becomes possible to use breathing not just for survival, but as a powerful tool for emotional balance and mental stability. Nasal breathing improves oxygen efficiency and overall health because the nose is designed as the body's natural filtration, humidification, and regulation system for incoming air. When air passes through the nose, it is filtered by tiny hairs and mucous membranes that trap dust, allergens, and pathogens, reducing the burden on the lungs and immune system. This filtration process is absent during mouth breathing, which allows unfiltered air to enter directly into the respiratory system. The nose also warms and moistens the air, creating optimal conditions for gas exchange in the lungs. Warm, humidified air prevents dryness and irritation in the airways, which helps maintain healthy lung function and reduces the risk of respiratory discomfort. Another essential function of nasal breathing is the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that plays a crucial role in improving oxygen uptake. Nitric oxide is released in the nasal passages and carried into the lungs with each inhalation. Once in the lungs, it enhances the body's ability to absorb oxygen by dilating blood vessels and improving circulation. This means that nasal breathing allows more efficient oxygen delivery to every cell in the body. Better oxygen uptake leads to improved energy levels, sharper cognitive function, and greater physical endurance. Mouth breathing bypasses this natural nitric oxide pathway, leading to less efficient oxygen utilization and reduced respiratory performance. Nasal breathing also encourages diaphragmatic breathing, which engages the lower lungs and promotes more complete ventilation. When people breathe through the mouth, the breath tends to stay shallow and confined to the upper chest, limiting the oxygen that reaches deeper lung regions. This shallow breathing can activate stress responses and contribute to fatigue. In contrast, nasal breathing naturally slows the respiratory rate and deepens each breath, allowing the diaphragm to move fully. This not only increases oxygen delivery, but also stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and mental clarity. The benefits of nasal breathing extend beyond simple oxygen exchange. It supports structural development of the face, jaw, and airway. In adults, consistent nasal breathing helps maintain proper tongue posture, keeping the airway open and reducing the risk of snoring and sleep apnea. During sleep, nasal breathing improves sleep quality by maintaining stable airflow and supporting the body's natural rhythms. Mouth breathing at night often leads to dry mouth, disrupted sleep, and reduced cognitive performance the following day. Over time, habitual mouth breathing can contribute to airway restriction, while nasal breathing promotes healthier respiratory mechanics. In physical performance, nasal breathing helps regulate intensity and conserve energy. Athletes who train themselves to breathe through the nose often experience better endurance, reduced heart rate at given workloads, and improved chyle tolerance. This tolerance is important because carbon dioxide is essential for oxygen release from the blood into the tissues. Nasal breathing helps balance oxygen and carbon dioxide more effectively, supporting sustained performance without early fatigue. By managing airflow, filtering impurities, regulating moisture, improving oxygen absorption, and supporting natural physiological rhythms, nasal breathing becomes a simple yet powerful foundation for better health. It influences sleep, focus, energy, physical performance, and long-term respiratory function, making it one of the most impactful habits a person can develop. Slow exhales reduce stress and promote calm because they directly influence the body's autonomic nervous system, shifting it away from the fight or flight response and into a more relaxed, restorative state. When the exhale is deliberately extended, it activates the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, which slows the heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and reduces the production of stress hormones. This shift happens because the body interprets a long, unhurried exhale as a signal of safety. In nature, animals breathe rapidly when threatened and slowly when resting. Humans follow the same physiological pattern. By consciously lengthening the exhale, even during challenging moments, the body receives a message that the environment is calm enough to relax. The exhale plays a unique role in regulating the vagus nerve, which connects the brain to major organs and controls many aspects of emotional and physiological stability. Longer exhales stimulate this nerve more strongly than inhales do, meaning a single slow out breath can begin to settle the mind. The vagus nerve helps coordinate breathing with heart rate, and during a slow exhale, the heart rate naturally decreases. This creates a measurable calming effect known as respiratory sinus arrhythmia, which reflects the body's ability to adjust to stress. The smoother and more extended the exhale, the more stable and regulated this system becomes, improving emotional resilience over time. Slow exhales also interrupt the cycle of rapid, shallow breathing that often accompanies stress and anxiety. When people feel overwhelmed or fearful, the breath becomes quick and tight, especially in the upper chest. This pattern feeds into the brain's alarm system, amplifying tension and reactivity. By intentionally slowing the exhale, the breath shifts from shallow to deeper, more controlled patterns. This reduces muscle tension, eases cognitive overload, and creates a sense of spaciousness in the body. The simple act of controlling the out-breath can stop stress from escalating, breaking the loop before it takes over. From a biochemical standpoint, slow exhalation helps regulate carbon dioxide levels in the bloodstream. Contrary to common belief, carbon dioxide is not just a waste product. The right balance of chyle is essential for oxygen to be released into the cells. Rapid breathing often causes too much chyle to be expelled, leading to lightheadedness, increased anxiety, and reduced mental clarity. Slowing the exhale restores balance, ensuring that oxygen is delivered efficiently to muscles, organs, and the brain. This helps maintain clear thinking and steadier emotions, even in high-pressure situations. In daily life, slow breathing patterns influence mood and emotional sensitivity. A prolonged exhale naturally slows down cognitive processes, making it easier to remain composed when confronted with stressors. It enhances the capacity to observe emotions rather than be overwhelmed by them. Over time, this practice trains the nervous system to respond more calmly, making stressful moments feel less threatening. People who incorporate slow exhales into their routine often report improved sleep, reduced irritability, and greater mental clarity because their baseline stress level decreases and their nervous system becomes more adaptable. Slow exhales also deepen body awareness in helping individuals reconnect with physical cues they often ignore during times of stress. This awareness strengthens emotional regulation by grounding attention in the present moment. When the breath is extended and smooth, the body naturally releases unnecessary tension, the jaw softens, the shoulders drop, and muscles loosen. This creates a physical environment that supports calm thinking and balanced emotions. The breath becomes both a guide and a regulator, allowing calm to emerge from within rather than depending on external circumstances. Proper breathing enhances physical performance and endurance because it optimizes the body's ability to deliver oxygen to working muscles, regulate energy output, and maintain stability during movement. When breathing is efficient, each inhale draws in more oxygen while each exhale removes carbon dioxide in a controlled way, keeping the body's internal environment balanced. This balance is essential for sustained physical effort. Muscles rely on oxygen to produce energy, and when oxygen supply is limited, fatigue sets in quickly. Proper breathing ensures that muscles receive the oxygen they need while also preventing the buildup of waste products that can hinder performance. A well-coordinated breathing pattern supports the diaphragm, the primary muscle responsible for respiration. When the diaphragm works efficiently, the body can take deeper, more effective breaths that engage the lower lungs. This allows for greater oxygen exchange compared to shallow chest breathing, which limits air intake and increases strain on secondary breathing muscles in the neck and shoulders. Over time, dysfunctional breathing can contribute to tension, poor posture, and reduced athletic output. In contrast, diaphragmatic breathing stabilizes the core, enhances posture, and provides a strong foundation for movement. This stability is crucial in activities such as running, lifting, or any sport that requires controlled force and balance. Breathing also influences heart rate and the cardiovascular system during physical activity. Proper rhythmic breathing helps synchronize the breath with movement, creating a steady pace that supports endurance. When breathing becomes erratic or shallow, the heart must work harder to supply oxygen to the body. This leads to faster fatigue and reduced performance capacity. Athletes who learn to maintain calm, controlled breathing under pressure often experience lower heart rates at the same workload, allowing them to train harder for longer periods. This efficiency not only improves endurance, but also aids in quicker recovery between bouts of effort. Another critical component of breathing for performance is carbon dioxide tolerance. Many people assume oxygen intake alone determines endurance, but the body's ability to manage CAL is equally important. Carbon dioxide plays a key role in triggering the release of oxygen from the blood into the muscles. If breathing is too rapid, CAL levels drop too low, making it harder for the muscles to access the oxygen they need. Proper breathing slows the respiratory rate, allowing CAL to remain at optimal levels and ensuring efficient oxygen delivery. Athletes who build better CAL tolerance often experience improved stamina, less breathlessness, and greater control during high-intensity efforts. Breathing techniques also affect focus and mental stamina, both of which are crucial for physical performance. Smooth, intentional breathing enhances concentration, reduces mental fatigue, and supports better decision-making during competition or training. When the breath becomes strained, the mind often follows, leading to frustration, loss of rhythm, or decreased motivation. Proper breathing keeps the mind calm and alert, enabling individuals to stay present and maintain form even as physical demands increase. Furthermore, breathing serves as a natural tool for pacing. Whether running, swimming, cycling, or lifting, the breath sets the rhythm for movement. Athletes who breathe in sync with their actions experience smoother transitions, better timing, and increased efficiency. They learn to manage intensity by adjusting the depth and speed of their breath rather than relying solely on muscle power. This kind of breath control protects the body from early fatigue and supports consistent performance across varying levels of effort. Proper breathing also aids recovery by promoting relaxation and helping the body shift out of a high-stress state after exertion. When the breath slows and deepens post-exercise, the parasympathetic nervous system activates, helping reduce heart rate, clear metabolic waste, and restore energy reserves. Without this shift, recovery becomes slower and performance can plateau. For anyone seeking greater strength, endurance, or physical resilience, mastering breathing becomes an essential part of training. Allowing the body to perform at its highest potential consistently. Breath awareness boosts mental clarity and focus because it anchors attention, regulates the nervous system, and reduces cognitive noise that interferes with clear thinking. When the mind becomes scattered or overwhelmed, breathing often shifts into shallow, irregular patterns that mirror internal stress. By tuning awareness to the breath, attention is pulled away from mental clutter and redirected to a steady, rhythmic sensation. This shift immediately calms the brain's activity, reducing the intensity of distracting thoughts and creating space for clarity to emerge. Breath awareness serves as a mental reset, allowing thoughts to settle and the mind to reorganize itself with greater precision. Focusing on the breath also activates regions of the brain associated with concentration and emotional regulation. Controlled breathing enhances activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, reasoning, and problem-solving. When breathing is controlled and steady, This part of the brain receives increased oxygen, which improves cognitive function. High stress states tend to reduce prefrontal activity and shift control toward more reactive brain regions, but simply directing attention to the breath can reverse this pattern. As the breath slows, the brain transitions into a more balanced and responsive state, improving mental clarity and the ability to process information effectively. Breath awareness reduces mental fatigue by lowering the overall stress load on the body. Stress consumes cognitive resources, making focus difficult and thinking scattered. When awareness returns to the breath, the parasympathetic nervous system becomes more active, reducing cortisol levels and calming the physiological responses that interfere with focus. As the body relaxes, mental energy becomes available again, improving alertness and the ability to concentrate for longer periods. This practice strengthens the mind's endurance, allowing for clearer thinking even during demanding tasks. Another key aspect of breath awareness is its ability to interrupt ruminative or anxious thought patterns. When the mind is caught in loops of worry or overthinking, focusing on the breath offers a simple, immediate way to disrupt these cycles. The rhythmic nature of breathing provides a stable focal point that draws attention away from negative thoughts. This creates a moment of pause in allowing the mind to disengage from unproductive mental loops and return to a more neutral state. Over time, this practice trains the brain to shift attention more easily, increasing cognitive flexibility and emotional resilience. Breath awareness enhances sensory perception and presence by grounding attention in the current moment. When the mind drifts into the past or future, clarity diminishes and focus becomes fragmented. Bringing attention back to the breath reestablishes presence, sharpening awareness of the task at hand. This heightened presence improves memory, decision-making, and learning because the mind is fully engaged rather than distracted. Individuals who regularly practice breath awareness often report improved creativity, sharper intuition, and a clearer sense of direction in their thinking. The simplicity of breath awareness makes it a powerful tool for maintaining clarity throughout the day. Even brief moments of conscious breathing can refocus attention during transitions, calm the mind before important decisions, or provide stability during high-pressure situations. The breath becomes a reliable anchor, accessible at any moment to reestablish clarity and regain mental balance. As the habit strengthens, the brain becomes more capable of sustaining focus naturally, without constant effort. Breath awareness ultimately supports a quieter, more organized inner landscape where thoughts become easier to navigate and clarity becomes a consistent mental state. Consistent breath practice builds long-term resilience because it trains the nervous system, the mind, and the body to respond to stress with greater stability and control. When breathing exercises are practiced regularly, they reshape physiological patterns that influence how a person reacts to pressure, fatigue, and emotional challenges. Over time, this training strengthens the body's ability to stay calm during stress, recover faster afterwards, and maintain clarity even in situations that would typically provoke tension. The nervous system becomes more adaptable, capable of shifting smoothly between states of alertness and relaxation without becoming overwhelmed. Regular breath practice improves baseline vagal tone, which reflects how efficiently the nervous system manages stress and relaxation. A higher vagal tone means the body can activate the parasympathetic nervous system more quickly, reducing heart rate, lowering stress hormones, and stabilizing emotions. Individuals with strong vagal tone tend to recover from emotional or physical strain more efficiently. Breath practices such as extended exhales, coherent breathing, or diaphragmatic breathing stimulate the vagus nerve repeatedly, reinforcing this capacity. With consistent repetition, the body begins to adopt a calmer default state rather than a reactive or tense one. Breath practice also increases distress tolerance by gradually expanding the body's comfort with varying levels of carbon dioxide. Many people unconsciously avoid deeper or slower breathing because of low call tolerance, which can trigger sensations of discomfort or breathlessness. Breath training exposes the body gently to controlled CL levels, teaching it to remain relaxed even as sensations shift. This physiological adaptation translates directly into emotional resilience because the body becomes better at staying steady under pressure. When the breath remains calm, the mind follows, helping individuals navigate challenges without escalating into panic or overwhelm. A consistent breathing routine also supports emotional regulation by strengthening the connection between the breath and conscious awareness. Over time, individuals become more attuned to early signs of stress, tightening in the chest, shallow breathing, increased heart rate, and are able to intervene before these signals intensify. Instead of being carried away by rising tension, they can use controlled breathing to stabilize themselves in real time. This prevents minor stressors from building into major reactions and encourages a more measured, thoughtful response to daily challenges. Breath practice enhances physical resilience by improving oxygen efficiency, energy management, and recovery. Regular breathing exercises strengthen the diaphragm, improve lung capacity, and increase the body's ability to use oxygen effectively. This allows individuals to sustain physical effort longer, recover faster after exertion, and maintain steady energy throughout the day. These physiological improvements support overall vitality and help prevent fatigue from becoming overwhelming. When the body is more resilient, and the mind is better equipped to stay composed and focused. Additionally, consistent breath practice cultivates a deeper sense of mental steadiness. Breathing exercises train the mind to remain anchored and present, reducing the influence of distractions, worries, or emotional fluctuations. As awareness of the breath becomes more natural, the mind develops a greater capacity to return to calmness after disruptions. This fosters greater confidence in one's ability to handle uncertainty or stress. Individuals who practice breathing regularly often feel more grounded, less reactive, and more capable of navigating complex or demanding environments. Over time, these combined effects reshape the way the body and mind handle stress. Regular practice rewires patterns that once triggered anxiety or tension, replacing them with responses rooted in calm, control, and confidence. Breath becomes a reliable tool for maintaining balance, supporting both short-term recovery and long-term stability.